Hello, my name is Eva Antonio Sunsin,
Hello, my name is Gustavo Aristondo.
and we are going to talk about the story
It's last bow.
by Arthur Conan Doyle. Good afternoon, Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
Good afternoon, Mr.
How are
Watson.
you?
I'm very well, and you?
I'm quite good. I have a question for you.
Yeah, tell me.
What's the story about? Tell me.
Well, the narrative begins with two German agents, von Herrling and von Borg. The two men, they are discussing about the relationship between Germany and the United Kingdom about the First World War.
That is very interesting, Mr. Holmes. There is a man that I would like to know about, and he is Van Borg. Can you tell me what was his plan, who he was? Can you tell me some more information about this character?
Okay, that's so interesting because you know, uh, to begin, his plan, were that he wants to escape from England to Netherlands,
Mhm.
but he was waiting for a secret from a man who was Altman. In this case, me, I was performing the character of Altman because I was an spy, right?
Mhm.
So he
So
was,
you were performing the character of Altamont,
yeah, I
uh,
performed the
to,
character.
to betray this
Yeah,
guy.
I betrayed this guy because to the end I caught him with Mr. Watson, with you, right?
Yes.
So things were bad for him, right?
Mhm.
Because his plans were not finished as he wanted.
Okay, Mr. Holmes, I have another question for you,
Yeah.
and it is this man, Mr. Bomberg, was
Yeah.
waiting a package for you, right?
Yeah. Okay. Let me tell you the plan. Well, the plan were that he was waiting for a package, and the package include secret about England, about the United Kingdom, right? But in fact, the package that I carry on were not the ones that he wants because uh, I I gave him a package that include about a manual about the bee culture um, by me, right? And so when he discovered that, I knocked him with chloroform.
So let me understand something. Uh, when Mr. Bomberg didn't know that you were actually Sherlock Holmes, right?
Yeah,
And he thought that you were Mr. Almond, and you were going to give him a package that includes some secrets about England.
yeah, that's true.
And with that package, I know that he was going to give you some money, right?
Yeah, in fact, uh, before that, before he discovered that the manual wasn't the one, he gave me a check for £5,000. So
Mm.
I keep it because and I try to take the money after uh, he discovered that.
So when you give him, or when you gave him the package, and he discovered that the package didn't contain the secrets but this book, what did you do?
For that, in that moment, I tried to act in a hurry moment, right? In a hurry way, because I knocked him from chloroform to knock him.
You used chloroform to knock him down, and then you tie him
Yeah,
for him not to escape, right?
yeah,
Okay, let me ask you another question. For example, there is a woman that helped you in this mission, right?
yeah. Her name is Martha. In,
Uh,
in fact, well, actually, she helped us a lot
mhm.
because she gave us a signal. A,
Mhm.
a
And
key.
what was this kind of signal?
She turned off the light of the house, and when she turned off the light of the house, uh, so we respond that that was the signal that Mr. Von Herling were not in the house.
Oh, so when Mr. Van Herling left the house,
She turned,
Martha turned off the lights.
yeah,
So it was the
that we realized with
it was the
Watson.
clue that
Yeah,
we had to enter to the house to knock down Mr. Van Borg, right?
yeah, that was the key clue for
Oh,
know that.
yes. Tell me more about this woman, Martha, right?
Right.
I know that she was working with this guy, Van Borg, right?
Yeah, but actually, let me tell you that uh, firstly, I contacted her.
Mhm.
Uh, she was first my employee.
Mm.
I contacted her before Von Von
Van Borg.
Von Borg, right? Because she was like an spy inside the house, you know.
Mhm.
Because also uh, she was worried about Van Borg. She asked about if we don't uh, make it some hurt, something like that. So to the end, she cares about
Van Borg.
Von Borg
Mhm.
because in fact he wasn't a bad boss, right?
Yes.
But to the end, she was a spy.
Yeah, because she was working for many years with him,
Yeah.
right? Okay. Finally, I would like to know something. Why did you decide to come back from retirement to work once again with this type of cases, right?
Well, in fact, you know, when you worked for a lot of years, when you have action, right? You you are working and you retired for a year, you get boring, right? In your house. In fact, I wrote a book, you know,
Yeah,
as a patient.
that is another question because the book that is inside the
Yeah,
package that you gave to Mr. Bomberg, it is a book that you wrote, right?
yeah, book. The book is by me.
Hmm.
It is a manual about uh, big culture, right?
Yeah.
So I inspired that because you know, an occasion that I was working uh, with a man who was working about the culture, right? And I learned a lot of things about him, and that gets my attention. And when I get retired, uh, I spend my time on that, right? But uh, First Minister of England came to me and he asked a lot to me to take uh, this work because
Oh,
you know von Borg was one of the biggest dangers to England.
yeah, and I know that he was very intelligent, right?
Yeah,
He he in fact was escaping from
yeah,
many policemen and things like that. Finally, one more question
yeah.
for you. Um, when Mr. Bomberg discovered that you were not Mr. Altamont, but you were actually Sherlock Holmes, what did he say? How did he act?
Well, firstly, he he didn't expect that. He didn't expect that I was Altman because uh, he's okay. He's this man is like he prepared everything with uh, anticipation, right?
Yes.
He planned very well. For that, he was a dangerous man in
Hmm.
Germany because he escaped many times from the policeman, right?
Hmm.
So he didn't expect that, and firstly he cursed at me, right? Because his plan were failed.
Yes. So you came back from retirement because the minister of England contacted you,
Yeah,
and because this case was so special that
yeah,
no one else could do it, right?
yeah. No one could cut him, so
Okay.
they need my help.
Okay, I understand. Thank you, Mr. Holmes, for being here.
It's a pleasure for me to be
And
here.
thank you for helping this beautiful country and for
You're welcome.
and for cutting this very dangerous man.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Everson Sen, and this is the analysis for the short story His Last Bow by Arthur Conan Doyle. His Last Bow was written in the year 1917 by Arthur Conan Doyle. Sir Arthur Ignatius Conan Doyle was born in the 22nd of May in the year 1859 and died in the 7th of July in 1930. He was a British writer and a physician. He created the character of Sherlock Holmes in the year 1887 for the book A Study in Scarlet, the first of four novels and 56 short stories about Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson. The Sherlock Holmes stories are considered milestones in the field of crime fiction. In his most famous work, we can find The Complete Sherlock Holmes, and The Hound of Baskervilles, and The Sign of Four. In his writings, we can find the literary elements such as understatement, allusions, imagery, paradox, parallelism, metonymy, synecdoche, and personification. He writes crime fiction and detective fiction, and if you like this kind of detective stories, make sure that you read this beautiful story about Sherlock Holmes.
Okay, hello. I'm going to talk about the principal characters of the short story. His last bow. So let's start. Okay. Von Berg was a German spy working in the United Kingdom on the eve of the First World War, and the main antagonist of this short story, his last bow. He was known as one of the Kaiser's most effective operatives in the United Kingdom. He crossed paths with Sherlock Holmes. And also we have Baron von Herling. He was the chief secretary of the German legation in the United Kingdom on the eve of the First World War. He was the superior of von Berg, the German spy who tangled with Sherlock Holmes in his last bow. Chronologically, this is the last time Holmes and Watson collaborated on the case together, located in 1914. However, the story were published later, located in the chronologically years earlier. Holmes is 16 years old, while Watson is about to turn 16, 7 years old. Sherlock, in this case, Almond Sherlock's undercover character, who is already a gentleman aged 16 and over, takes the latter job at the request of the Premier Minister. Watson, the best Sherlock friend at work, who always is with Sherlock in his adventures, being one of the best spies of the United Kingdom. His last book, an epilogue of Sherlock Holmes, written by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, is the very last of the 56 published Sherlock Holmes stories. Uh, in this account, we see Holmes depart from his typical crime solving role, instead acting as a spy in an effort to foil a German spy's attempt to smuggle state secrets out of the United Kingdom. Although he wins the day, this is not your typical Sherlock Holmes state. The primary theme of the story was a rather clear message to a weary English citizenry that although times were tough, and also the Allies would prevail in the fight against the Central Powers, and England will not only recover uh, but be a stronger nation in the end, right?